Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast. My name is Tony Wisi. This is Igbo Global Network and broadcasting from our studios in Washington, D.C. We have a treat for you tonight. You are going to be so excited. We have a phenomenal speaker tonight. Our fathers and our mothers around the world, ma ndị ke nọ n'ụlọ, ma ndị ke nọ diaspora, UK, United States, Asia, I know ebe niile. And the topic of tonight's broadcast is 801 million Igbo. Globally, 801. So those who are trying to limit us to 5 states, they are in for a rude shock tonight. This is Igbo Global Network. We are broadcast from Washington, D.C. Our WhatsApp number is +1 202 787 8909. Join us on Facebook, our Facebook page, on our Facebook group, on YouTube, and join us on WhatsApp. This is your program. It's an interactive session, so please join us. You're going to make it complete by participating. Again, you can reach us on +1 202 787 8909, and our website is www.igboglobalnetwork.com, which is also a news blog. You're in for a treat tonight. Before I introduce our guest speaker, I want to introduce our panel. In our panel, we'll have a veteran, Mazi Ichembakwe. In our panel, we'll have and also an elder statesman, a proper statesman, not like the fake statesman we have, elders we have in our Igbo today. A proper elder statesman. And then also we'll have Sachukuma Niekwe. We'll have our sister here, Pastor Neka. And our guest, our expert tonight, who is going to be speaking to us, first of all, to Igbo, and then secondly, we're going to have an interactive session. The phenomenal Igbo man. I call him a treasure, a hidden treasure for Igbo, a gift to Igbo. And the only other man I've qualified in that manner is Evangelist Evangelist Ebuka Obi. That's the only other man I've addressed in that manner. A gift and a treasure to Igbo, to encourage, to strengthen, to direct, to support. This man is phenomenal. This man is extra phenomenal. Igbo, you must hear him and you must honor him. Professor of History, Professor Chinedu Agbodike. He has a lot. I'm still taking notes from the lectures he gave last month. He has a lot under the bonnet. And that's why I describe him as a treasure and a gift by God to Igbo, to remind you who you are, from whence you have come, and why you are feared and revered all over the world. My friends around the world, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, YouTube, I present to you Professor Chinedu Agbodike. Prof.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If I got may look mysterious, but what you do not know must exist.
That's right.
So, what you were told, if your life is built on what you were told, then you remain a teller. Because what you were told may not be true. Where did you learn the truth you have? I'm going to make some introduction, philosophical introduction. If any reason prevents you from accepting other reasons, if those reasons are real, then your reason is irrational. If what you were told came from Ogopa discovery of Niger, if what we were told by the Caucasians, by those who conquered their forefathers, took them to slavery, and those who punished your forefathers and called them monkeys, what you know that they depended upon them. then you have a problem to sort out. For a historic lie to become a historic truth, it needs only a historic time for those things to come to be. Therefore, what we're going to tell you today is not written in any history book, because the history book written by them, and the word history means his own story. So for absolutism to take place, he can win her own story, my own story, our own story, or his own story. This is our own story. Ndị Igbo daalụnụ. Ọkwa ifu na akpọrọ m ụnụ ndị Igbo, ndị Igbo daalụnụ. Now, the ancient empire of Hebrew, asụsụ ị na-asụ, started from Senegal up to Gabon. And the Igbos are in 5 states, is a lie. The Igbos are in 5 plus 8 states. I can mention their names. The Igbos are outside this country, including Ivory Coast, Kenya, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Jamaica. They are all over the world. Remember those who walked into the sea instead of becoming slaves in 1809. Remember them. They were all Igbos. The word Igbo is not a territory, it's an empire. This empire consists of many people, including Agbada Irigidi, who calls themselves Yoruba. We are going to correct those things. The purpose of winning you in war is to make you confused. Inside you, there are things that will make you Igbo. 1, M1 is ethnic marker inside their blood. 2, melanin, which is general in Africa. 3, DNA series 9 speak about series different from the others. 3, Igbo man discovered America. His name is Amarinzo. The sculptor is in South America up to today. And he started giving them according to just like if you go to River State now, you have Rumokoro, Rumo this, Rumokoro. Osnapayabu, Chicago, not Chicago. San Diego, not San Diego. Ohio, not Ohio. I do not need to both races. Ishinanti, not Cincinnati. Washington, okay, to know Washington. Now, how will be penny now? But I want to understand basically that the Igbo man discovered phone on a boy or phone. The Igbo man discovered computer on a boy computer. But we don't want to go into all those historic facts. But in Igbo directly that Nde Kumek fought the British for 31 years. Which weapon did they use? Now, when we come to weaponized side, when I talk of your sensor, when I talk of your power of the pineal gland, the power of knowing who you are. The Igbos are not Israelis. It's not true. It's a fallacy. The Israelis are Igbos. It's realities. Now, if you also talk about Christians, those who are Christians among you, you talk of Igbo Ukwu, you know about the Sumerians. The Sumerians taught the Hebrews, who developed fantastic technology in Igbo Ukwu, went as far as Enugu. They built the first pyramid. Then from there to north, then from there to Egypt. We are the one that built the pyramid. We are the one that educated the Greeks. We are the Moors. These are the facts you are going to learn later. Now, when you talk of humans, humans means hue, black, skin-colored human being. Now, when you look at our own calendarium, we're not talking of Gregorian calendar. We're not talking of Roman Empire that you thought was destroyed. No, Roman Empire broke into pieces, and those pieces are the one ruling you today. The Romans are ruling our mind today. The Romans are ruling our gods today. The English have converted, or translated or colonized Igbo language. The Igbo language is written in Ihibidi, in CBD. It has 10,000 symbols. I can teach that later to students. But what the English language has is just 26 alphabet. That's what they use to colonize you. And that's why when you want to spell your name, you see, okay. What do you mean by okay? Okay is the English language. It's colonizing you. We're going to write it later in CBD. Now, when you go to Jamaica, when you go to Cuba, when you go to some places, I have traveled, remember, I've traveled around the world. I've gone to many places. When I was in Halmstad, Sweden, I saw the Igbo people there who don't even know they're Igbos. And somebody answering Okoye, ask him, do you know the meaning of Okoye? He say, you don't know? You don't know? I don't know. I say, Okoye is an Igbo person. If I shake your blood, Maka, you are an Igbo. But that is not the topic of today. The topic of today is that the word Igbo is not a tribe. The word Igbo is an empire. What we are speaking of, what we are is Igbo. But when the so-called colonists came, they wanted to create disunity among ourselves. And that's why they said that we are Igbos. We are Hebrews, but Igbo is an empire that comprises of more than 300 tribes. More than that. The Yorubas are Igbos, the Hausas are Igbos, the Fulanis are Igbos. Every other person in West Africa, from Senegal down to Gabon, is an Igbo. Igbo is not a tribe. I mark you. For example, we have a lot of tribes like Egyptian tribe, Ethiopian tribe, Kush tribe, and so many other, empires. We have a lot of empires, Kush, Ethiopian empire. Empire is a large area that can even include up to India. So the empire, which was the last empire conquered by the British, started from Senegal to Gabon, and it was finally conquered in 1904. I know history will not tell you that because it's his own story, but this is our own story of who we are, who we are. Now let's go back to ourselves. What do we use for our calendar? 4 days. 4 days. Is it 4 days? No, it's not 4 days. For everything an Igbo man does, it must be dual, male and female, plus and minus, negative and positive. We have Ekuku, Ekenta, Ukuku, Nkwonta, Oriuku, Oriento, Afuku, Afonta. You remember saying Sata, Ige Biugu. Anyone Biugu, and about circumcision. Circumcision did not start from Israeli. Israeli is a branch of the Hebrew. Now, who are the ones who educated the Hebrew? The Hebrews were educated by the Sumerians. If you go to Ibuku, I have a book on that called Igirigi. Only through book a white man cannot understand. That's one of my latest. I have 59. You can Google Amazon and see that. Now, if you go to Ibuku, you see the artifacts. You'll be able to see those who predated Adam. Man, Adam is not called Adam. That's not the name we call him. We call him Adapa, not Adam. No, we call it Adamu. Predated him. But when an Igbo man say God of Abraham, no. We predated Abraham. We predated Adam. We were existing before Adam. Now, if you can read those things, if you can read, you can see them in my book. Evidences of facts we have. The first university was where? In Africa. And who were those in charge of those universities? What was the means of communication? Right now, in English speaking, colonized, English is a means of communication. What was the means of education? If there were universities, there must be tertiary institutions there. If there were tertiary institutions, who were the teachers? Who were educating the world then? At Mpute, you know the place called Mpute is Putin River Niger. They had electricity in 14th century. If you like, you can Google and find out somebody called Nunutristrio. You will be able to understand those who actually brought this problem we have here. The name of that river is what? Niger? No, the name of that river is Oshimiri or Ohimiri. But when they were coming here in nutrition in 1443, they found out that this place was developed. There was electricity, there was street lights, there were everything. So they could not report that to His Majesty. So where they were stealing something, Ebahan Ezuori, and Apuhan Ezutohi, Apo Ebaha, Gold Coast, Ebahan Ezugold, Ivory Coast, Ebahan Ezavri, Niger area, Ebahan was 17 million people to slavery. So Niger area, at once you are a Niger area, you are a foolish man. That's the meaning. Now they told you Mogopa discovered River Niger. As there was River Niger lost. So what you are going to get is this. Very simple. You look at yourself, you find Yoruba, your name, you came from Dahomey, you mingle with us. And we stay together. And an echo. I assume now we were together as one unit. We were the one fighting. We were the one that went on the same ship to America. The Igbos and Yorubas. For heaven's sake, let me use the one you understand. Igbo and Yoruba. But I told you it's not Igbo. Igbo is an empire. But what we are is Hebrew. The Igbo nation, the Asian people. Now let's use the ones we can understand. If not, I won't call you Yoruba, because Yoruba is the sixth son of Oduduwa. I would have called you Agbada Irigidi. So when you went there, you had a bad agreement with the Caucasians. So you had a bad agreement, bad agree. Did you see what you are talking about? The same thing you are talking when you go now, you say room okoro. But he mabu umu okoro kobo. So all these names were changed with history. That's why I said in my statement that for a historic lie to become historic truth, all it needs is passage of time of history, and then it becomes historic truth. Now, let me tell you what I've done to your mind. No, during the time of the Roman Empire, when the emperor is doing something bad, what does he do? He builds a stadium where people can be laughing and wasting their time and wasting the energy, and laughing and talking all kinds of nonsense. So what are they using to make your mind not to function? One, music. Two, entertainment, sports. That's what they have used to make you not to reason, not to think of who you are, what you are, the power of your mind, the power of your ability. Now, what they did is they studied their God. They know you love God. You know, white man, if you're a white man, there's nothing like white too. I just want to use your language. And there's nothing like black. And even if you want to talk of black has 10 million colors. Everything colors. Everything in this world started in black. The woman, the baby in the womb is in black. The seed on earth is in black. The Almighty God, according to your Bible, is dwelleth in thick darkness. Black went first before darkness. God created heaven and earth. Please, Pastor, pardon me. Where was he when he was creating them? I don't know. But what we know today is that if you look at the Hebrew man, what he is, what he represents on earth, you will be able to know, you'll be proud of your identity. And why? Right. Because we were the one that created problem for the British. And that's why they will not allow you to come up to that power again, because there's something inside you can use to control elements. You can use, it's called sensors. You know, when you're using your television, you are using your DC, you are using remote control. Now, those are the things you use to activate some weapons, sensor. You have inside you right now in your body 52 sensors. My book will teach you how to make use of them. You can control weather. Now, let's go back to the calendarium, so that I won't be too far away. We're talking of because there's male and female. For example, the earth you are living in has male and female earth. We knew all these things. So now you talk of duality and everything. So in the elements, we have 5 elements. One is in control. Ezenwaka, that is the big finger, cannot be left when you are going to barium. You can't leave it. So that one is the spirit. The first element is earth, which is soil, the land, the air, the water, the fire, and the spirit. Now you see there are 4. And each 4 of them, each one, there are 2. This is coined to our culture that has to do with 4 of 8. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how circumcision starts on the 8th day, because it is on the 8th day makes our week easy. And our months are 13 months in a year. Okay, let me explain it with the Bible. If those of you who are Christians who wants to go to heaven anywhere, but God is not in heaven because He created heaven and earth. He must be somewhere else. Now, those who want to understand it from the Bible point of it, there were 12 sons of Jacob. You know, there was no letter J in Hebrew language, but let's accept that the letter J 2400 years ago. So there were 12 sons of Jacob. How many men are in his house? 13. Now let's go to the Bible, New Testament. There were 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. I know there's no letter J. We will come to that later. Then how many men were with him? 13. 13 as the number. The number we use is 13. That's what we use for our year. That's what we use for our calendar. Unfortunately now, we are worshiping Roman gods. For example, Sunday. So all this is the white man uses to so that you will think that you are nothing. Your culture, your tradition. Let me come to Catholics, please. Don't be annoyed with me. Matthew Diasa, your brother, St. Mark Diasa, your brother. Kedi konyocha esi blues or your
I wonder.
Okay, come to those names. What is your father's name? My father's name is Agbodike, the descendants of warrior. If you want Azabu, Shukudi, Shukuka, Ingini Konya Naza, table, stool, carpenter, dog, pig. Can't you see the difference between you and them? Can't you see you are attached yourself to the Almighty Himself? And He has a name, not God. His name is not God. God is derived from the Trinity of the globalists. I hope you know the Trinity of the globalists. We'll tackle that later. The Trinity of globalists talk of 3 gods in the empire. 1, Gozan. You see it in your Bible. Orion, god of astrology. You see it in your Bible. Dinah, which is in your Bible, in the New Testament, the gods of Asia. What do you have? Go, G, Orion, O, G, Dinah. So what you have? Trinity, 3 demons you're worshiping. That's the God you're worshiping. Because even those who are Christians among you, if you open Psalm 82 verse 6, it said that ye are gods. So anyị nwakwere na anyị bụ shi. Anyị nwa bụ ngini shi. You got one in China, because some of the Chinese today who are black Chinese are Igbos. The highest god in China is CHR. We spread it around the world. We educated the earth. We are the one that educated the white men. They didn't know how to bath. They didn't know how to wash their clothes. They didn't know how to use soap. We brought soap. For heaven's sake, I want to ask you if there is heaven, if there is a sake of heaven or sake. I want to ask you this question. Does cotton grow in Europe? So where did they get the cotton from? Do they have gold in Europe? So where did you get the gold from? All these things they have, they're all marauders. They're all thieves. And religion will steal your mind. And when you are poor in mind, you are really poor indeed. Religion, you steal that which you have and give you that which is nothing. So that is exactly the introduction I'm going to make today. Remember what I said. For you to begin to believe in anything without knowing the reason or the rationale or the origin of that thing you believe in, your belief is a hanging diction. You're just hanging in the air. You are only a second class because you don't believe in your own self. You don't believe in your own God. You don't believe in your own. What we should do is to bring out a God. We'll give it a name. We'll give it a name and you say, do you know why the Igbos can never be united? Do you know why? Go on, are you listening to me? In 1967, what did you go to do? What did you go to do in 1967? Have you forgotten? You went and you people killed some cows and started doing incantation. You are doing that incantation up to today. That's why we can never be one. If you start anything, after some month, it will split. It's incantation done against you. And what did you use? British were with you. I'm talking to you because you think I don't know. I know. Because I'm an Anunnaki. Now, he said they are using Pixie, P-I-X-Y. That's what you use to disorganize us, to make us not so that we won't come up again and rebel against evil. Because Igbo man will never stand evil. Then, what are we going to do? To fight? To destroy lives? No, we will not give you opportunity to say you are dead weapon. What we're going to do is to educate the man and recolonize ourselves. How do we start recolonizing ourselves? First of all, what is your father's name? Biko, Ihaya Nazo, Saint Chinedu, not what's going on Chinedu Mososo, Saint Chinedu, Saint Matthew, Saint Ka, Saint Nka. Can do Chakakosi no have again, no go anything hang inside their brain except to steal. Barbarians. Listen to me, I believe with you in Europe for a long time. I believe in America, I believe in this, I believe with you. Even your brokers, I know it very well. So there's nothing to hide about it. What we are going to do is to reorganize the Igbo man again, to know your population. You are all over. There's no part of the world, any part of the world you go, you see Igbo man, that place will perish. We are the one that control the world, even up to today as I'm talking to you. But what happened is that when we discover this, they will be stolen from us. Why? There is juju, high-level power juju, being done against us on a monthly basis. And it is incantation, and we can overcome that when we're united. We create our own God. When people are united together in one power, then they will produce what they call common concepts of the God. When those common concepts of God are produced, you'll be able to achieve something. Now, for example, if you take a wood, especially Iroko wood, Karaka, carve it in some, and some of you started giving it name. After some years, that Iroko tree will start operating as a God. That's how these names were created. That's how St. Matthew, St. Peter, St. John, those were not saints. Some of them are homosexuals, some of them are barbarians. That's how they were created. That's how they become. That's how you are giving the name. That's how they're pushing you to keep on calling the gods of their own gods. Own God, you let the land. You know, saying Igbo na-efe arụsị, gịnị bụ arụsị? Maka ihe na-akpọ arụsị. Arụsị mean arụkwụsị. You see the ekwensu, maka ihe na-akpọ ekwensu. Ekwensu, spirit of will. There is nobody called devil, there's nobody called Satan, there's nobody called Lucifer. In fact, if you want to call Lucifer, is it not a foreign language? Is it not a foreigner? He's called Lucifer, is a Latin word which means bringer of light. And if you call him Satan, it's a Hebrew word which means what? My adversary. If you call him Diva, he's from America, D. Lawrence. He's not even a native of our land. So please understand what I'm saying. Please understand what I'm saying. Colonize yourself. Because you say Mongopa discovered River Niger. You said that a doctor in Igbo land is a native doctor, but the one in Europe is not a native of Europe. You said that. What is he? And you say, if I don't know how to read and write English, I'm an illiterate. Do you know how to read and write Igbo in Insibidi? What are you? So what makes illiterate more or less illiterate than illiterate that you should call me illiterate? So what makes you only more illiterate? What you are doctor, more doctor than doctor? Am I not curing sicknesses? And you're curing sicknesses in Europe and curing sicknesses in Igbo land? What am I in Igbo land? Native doctor. What are you in Europe? Native doctor. But when you begin to give these names and call my language vernacular, your own language, yet I'm communicating with my people. Trees communicate themselves. Now, if you call my name vernacular and I am vernacular and you're speaking with me at that moment, what are you? Because we're communicating. As long as we're communicating, we are the same. So what I'm introducing to you, Hebrew man, next time I will give you the names of towns and places where we are all over the place called nigger area, foolish man's area. I'll give you the name. We are in how many states? That is 8 plus 5. That is 13 states. That's where we are. We are in Ondo. We are in River State. We are in Ebonyi State. We are in Plateau State. And some of all those places we are. And if you want, I can start mentioning their name one by one, the place we are. But as I told you, the blood of Igbo man is all over Africa. If you want to use the word Africa, you know, we are not going to be answering the name given to us by colonial monsters. Please never say somebody is a master, because after master, there is no position rebellion except slave or servant. Unless you want to call yourself slave or servant in the world where you are actually the owner of the earth. Where they are Caucasians, the Yemetic are actually visitors, because the sun is not friendly with them. They are visitors. This place is controlled by sunlight, and sun is friendly only to melanin, not friendly to somebody who doesn't have melanin in his skin. And most of you, my sisters and brothers, who are bleaching themselves white, you should be an enemy to the sunlight, and cancer will chop your skin. So what we're saying is this, that if this earth is being controlled by the Caucasians who have the DNA series 666. Now, Marky, let me explain that to you. We have different DNA series. We have DNA series 333 by Rena Cats. We have DNA series 555 by chimpanzee. We have DNA series 666 by the whole white man on earth. But you have DNA series 999. If the whole world we're having today has been stolen, organized by DNA series 666, now that series, it means is a mark of genius, if you're a genius. Now, you are the genius of the earth that haven't DNA series 999. Suppose you take over the world and build a better place, then you have a better business, a better democracy, not diamond and go crazy, not demon crazy. Now, let me explain that to you. For example, what do we have in Igbo land as a means of living together? One is mentorship. The other one is apprenticeship, whereby everybody has what the other person has. Let's assume that everybody has what the other person has. Would there be thieves? Would there be armed robber? Would there be all these things you are having today? But what we have is a world of demon, diamond and gold, demon crazy called democracy, where there is capitalism that resort to armament, resort to corruption. Corruption is not an Igbo language. Corruption is a British language. So if we don't know the name of something, that means it's not existing with us. So if you go to, as I told you, the Ananukis taught the Sumerians. The Sumerians from Ibuku taught the Hebrews. Now, I hope you understand the system. The Ananukis were extraterrestrial beings who taught the Sumerians. And the Sumerians taught the Hebrews. And we rule the world. Unfortunately, due to sabotage, these things were taken away from us. But we are coming back to take away our position and reorganize the world. Because the question you're going to ask yourself, if the white man claimed to be the owner of the world and their father is a white man that owns it, why are they building weapons that will destroy their father's property? They have to answer that question. We are not building any weapon. We are building weapon of love. We are building a weapon of togetherness. Why is the man help us? Why? Come now. Well, why are you running away to your country after you have stolen my property? Then I come to your country and come there and beat you in wisdom, in knowledge, in education, whatever. So you didn't spread around the whole world. Why not spreading around the whole world? The biggest tribe on earth are Hebrew tribe. That's the biggest tribe. And they know it. And they know what I'm saying is true. So what would they do? For Africa to survive, for Africa to be emancipated, the Hebrews must, I say must many times, must link up with the Yorubas. Because it's when they linked up with the Yorubas, they were able to conquer the world in the first place. They were the one that entered the ship with some Indians. Now, if you go to America, they call them Lamanites and Nephites and so on. So they say the Lamanites were blacks and the Nephites were white. That means when you become a Christian, you become a white man. And when you become a devil, you become a black man. Yet in the beginning, it was darkness. And what is God? What is their God looking inside darkness? What is he looking for there? So these are the things they use to stigmatize your mind, to make you to be subservient to wisdom or thinking. As I said from the beginning, if anything that will prevent you from reasoning or from thinking, if anything that can prevent you from accepting other kinds of thinking, if those other kinds of thinking are real, that thing is irrational. I hope you understand what I said. And I think I have taken my 15 minutes. I'm ready for questions and answers. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. You are watching Igbo Global Network. My name is Tony Missy. I'm your host for tonight. And our WhatsApp number is +1202 787-8909. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to shout or scream or stand up and start dancing, etc. But wow. A lot to unpack in that message, a lot to unpack. Let me start with Pastor Neka. I mean, he's clearly shaking the trees. Pastor Neka, let me start with you. I mean, one of the things I heard him say, he says, for historic truth to exist, all you need is a historic lie, a passage of time, passage of, let me see how he said it.
Historic lie.
Huh?
Yeah, for historic lie to become historic truth, all you need is historic time.
Historic time. Historic lie to become historic truth, all you need is historic time. So the passage of time, a lie can become truth. In the passage of time, a lie can become truth.
A religion, true.
And what you do not know must exist. Pastor Neka.
Oh, I'm overwhelmed, honestly. But I have just some few questions, because when you spoke about when the Europeans existed, I have talked about that in one Igbo radio before, how they come into being, how they come among us. But that's not that's a topic for next time. Yeah, you said about the Yorubas and Igbos collide together. But if this is a history that happened, now why are the Yorubas colliding with the Fulanis to destroy us?
The whole thing is manipulation of the mind. As I've told you that when scripts are written by the victors, the generation to come will see those scripts as scriptures, and the worshiping.
Lost him.
He's having an internet problem. Yeah, I heard him say that, that the Igbos and Yorubas walked together. They walked into the sea together to commit suicide instead of remaining slaves. But that's historically, in our own understanding, and Igbo story, as opposed to that. Then he went on to say that the Igbo and the Yoruba must work together to liberate the black man. I've heard that from several other sources, including a Yoruba professor Professor Kinto, I've heard him say that Chief Awolowo, the late premier, told him that the Igbos and Yorubas must work together to liberate the black man. In other words, it's a conspiracy designed to hold the black man down. They're keeping the Yoruba and the Igbo divided. It's interesting that the two tribes that have similar values, they keep them divided. Keeping them divided, sowing the seeds of discord among them has sustained, even though they do have common values. Barrister, I mean, what jumped to mind from Professor Agbodike's presentation?
Yeah, thank you, Convener. I think the prof touched at the core, some of the core issues, but the particular one that resonated with me, just like every other one resonated with me, I can say is that he emphasized that Igbo people should decolonize their mind. Decolonization of the mind. So I think that if he stay here, I wanted to ask him if he was talking about people, is he aligning the thoughts of decolonization of the mind with the idea of creating a new consciousness that is going to make the Igbos to realize themselves and become motivated when they pick up, like I said, their historical place and use that historical basis to project their future.
Yeah, it resonated with me as well that he was talking about a new consciousness. Your concept of slave plantation, that the Igbos need to develop a new consciousness of who they are and where they are. As you put it, that Nigeria is a slave plantation. So when you talked about recolonizing your mind, that resonated well with me. That that our people need to come up to a new consciousness of where they are and what is going on. That they are in a slave plantation, and that this is all designed by white supremacists, again as you put it, to keep them in slavery, to maintain slavery. That I resonated. That resonated with me also.
Yeah.
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I want to go. I want to see, so that I can hear from the horse's mouth, to see his line of thinking.
Yeah.
To know whether is he expanding it in that direction,
right?
Of so that the Igbos can use their history, because you have to use where you are coming from to project where you are going in the context of doing appreciative inquiry. Because if you make appreciative inquiry of the past, combining it with critical self-introspection, I think it will guide us to understand our rich history.
Yeah.
From his own perspective. Because what I understand from him is that we have a rich history. But there's another thing I want to, if you permit me, that I want to come in. The way my sister just said. My sister said about, sometimes working together with the Yoruba, working together with the Jaw, working together with the Fulani, working together. I think it is good to work together with people, but however, we should still be looking at the changing times, the changes that occurred in time and space.
Prof is back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go on, finish what you're saying.
Sorry. Something happened.
Okay.
Yeah, Barrister, go ahead, finish up, and then we'll bring
okay. That's if we are thinking about working together with people, working together, and let me emphasize again that I don't normally, I struggle to describe Igbo or Yoruba or any African group as a tribe. I prefer to describe, because I believe that I align myself with what Professor Stephenson of Victoria University articulated. He said that tribes is what the white supremacists use to connote the backwardness of Africans, whereas they
Yeah.
use ethnic nations for
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that understanding in mind, I normally prefer as an Igbo man to project Igbo or any other people about as ethnic nations.
Nations.
Yes. We're a nation. There's no question about it.
Ethnic nations. And if you are going to work with Yoruba, I think we have to come from that angle, because what I understand from what Prof is saying is that we should start self-determining our life, self-determining our own narratives,
Yeah.
self-determining our own maximatics of life, so as self-determining our own our own inherent innovative and creative abilities that is going to propel our own development.
Yeah.
And I believe that it is when we get to that level, that we can now nothing will be automatic. We cannot align with any ethnic nation based on based on wishful thinking. There must be some collective incentive in the present that is going to make those ethnic nations to come together and align together.
Yes.
And if there are divergence of incentives, let's say between the Igbos and the Yorubas and the Jos and all those things, based on the incentive created by the white supremacists to anybody, it's going to we have to address it if we are going to be very, very serious in aligning together. That's the way
That's
I
right.
use. That's my own perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think it is the appreciative inquiry that you're talking about. That's really what he's doing, and that's what's brought us to where we are. Prof, you're back.
Yeah,
I
welcome.
think we're having some difficulty with the internet. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
So do you want to continue from where you left? Response to Pastor Neka's question.
Yeah. He asked a question. I didn't quite pick it up before the internet went off.
Yeah. Pastor Neka, your question. Do you want to take that question again, please?
Yeah, I was saying that you said something about we and the Yorubas aligning together to do so many things.
Yeah.
But right now, the Yorubas, for me, I call them backstabbers. The Yorubas are against us and stabbing us at the back. So how are we going to do that since we were together before? Sorry.
Yeah. The basic principle of
Since we
war.
were together before, and right
Yeah.
now the center cannot hold. So
Yeah.
what will happen? How are we going to achieve that?
The basic principle of war is to make the enemy fight themselves. They have successfully done that. We now have to unlearn the wrongs. We now have to unwind the mental tape that brought about what we're going through. It's a school of its own to re-educate them, to give them samples. For example, Agbada Irigidi, Anaeko, Ikorodu, Ebutemeta, Onyi all those things we teach them. That they own those who are Igbo. And some of them were all Hebrews. They have to understand that Igbo is not a tribe. They must understand that Igbo is a nation that incorporated other nations, just like an empire comprises of other group of people. The Roman Empire was ruling the entire world, and the entire world were not Romans. The British, the Anglos, the Saxon, the Franco, they were all Roman Empire when they split. But right now, those same people now who were Roman Empire have different names, and they're the one ruling the world who can repeat the same thing because they're together. If the Romans were split, were broken down into pieces, and those pieces come together and ruling the world, we can do the same thing. The Igbos and the Yorubas, if you want to use that word, I say Igbo is an empire, have been broken into pieces. What they need is to re-educate, not the conquerors educating you. The conquerors can never write a history. There is no way the axe will write a history that will glorify the wood. There's no way the hunter will write his history that will glorify the animals. There is no way the white will write a history book that will glorify those who were vanquished. They wrote what is bringing us division among us. So it will take some time to unwind the mental tape, to re-educate them, to unlearn their wrongs. But starting is very important. They have to start. This statement is what we're trying to do here. Let them know that we were together before. For heaven's sake, we were together before as one entity, fighting. We withdrew from Lagos and Echo. We withdrew from that place, which they call Echo. It is Echo that filled that place, Echo, because it's what do you call it? Sluggish area. That is where Echo is going. So they know that. They know that there is Agbada. They know that they came from Dahomey. They know all those ones. We also know where we came from too, because we were here from Ibuku. We came. Don't say we came from the north. We came from Israel. No, 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 no. We were from Ibuku. We came from Atlantis. If you want to know more, that between Gabon and South Africa, there was a place there which was destroyed by a comet. And it's part of us that came out from there that survived that. That's where we came from. That is our origin. Igbo, the ancient. But we were empires that in charge. The difference is that we were the leading warriors. And the Yorubas were the leading warriors with us. And that was how we managed to conquer. That was how we managed. For example, Oronko Anamonye, the man that commanded Golden Stool to fall from heaven, was an Igbo man. Michael Jackson was an Igbo man. Jedis Jackson was an Igbo man. So which Igbo is real? Is he speaking Igbo language now? That is what they have to understand. The passage of history has made this into look like a lie. And then the lie is now their scripture. And that's the problem they must keep on having. What name is a Yoruba man answering? Let me ask him a question. Why is it that they answer Olorufumi? Why are you answering Olorufumi? And what is Igbo answering Chukwuka? Is it not the same thing? Eti Nte. Is it not the same thing? What brought about the division? What about the separation? Was because of passage of history time that was a lie. That is why we're having. So we need to go backward integration, back to history. Let them bring their professors. Let's talk. Because what happened 4,000, 5,000 years ago has become reality now. They have to understand that. The history of Biafra Nigerian pogrom now has been written by liars, by those who conquered, who claim they have conquered. And now what they're reading is not true. Now the truth is coming up now. The same thing is happening all over. That's how the world is made of. You cannot pass your secondary school unless you say Mogopa discovered urbanization. But is it true? Is it true? This is reality? You know it's not. But you see, say it. You see, say you're a black man, but you are not black. There's no color that is black. You see, say somebody is a white man, you know it's a lie. There's nobody that is white. You know, all this is why we're learning that the name of that river was never River Niger. It's not true. You know it's not true. But then because it has become passage of historic time, becomes reality. And that is what we're having today all over the whole world. The white man does not know his position on earth because the slavery started in Europe. When they conquered the Moors that taught them what they are, they started, after conquering them, they put them as slaves. Slavery did not start in Africa. It started from Europe. And we know that. University of Salamandra, where was it? Who built it? Was it not Africans who built it? The first university on earth? We think we do not know. Now today, they are the one educating you. And you believe you're educating you. Yeah, you're going to Europe, you're going to this, you're going to see greener pasture. Where did you get the money from? You stole them, you vandalized our people. That's how you got it. So if a thief steals your property, after some years, it becomes his or her own property. And then you now go there for greener pasture, as if there is no greens here. So these are the things we're going to talk about with their historians, with their professors, so that the people can be enlightened. Lies started with somebody. Truth was also with somebody. They started, all this problem we're having today started with lies. And therefore, you can now untell the tales. All the things that have been told, we have to untell them in this program. I'm ready for that because I'm equipped with the knowledge of what will work. There are nothing like Ghana is there was only nation. There was only empires. There is no country in Africa. I hope you know that. What we have in Africa is nations. Nation means property. Nigeria is owned by Royal Niger Company. So most of them are companies created in 1884 Berlin Conference. So we know all this is. Since we know that the passage of time, passage of history brought about the lives we're having, it is now our responsibility not to allow our children to live in limbo or colonial lives. That's how this has to say. It's not overnight.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll have one question before you go, please.
Hold on a second. Let me go to Martin Bakwe, and then we're going to come back to you. Observing, I think you're having connection problems. There's interference where you are. So either you have two devices on, or so you need to check that. So I might have to keep you up for a while. You're watching Igbo Global Network. This is
Prof, I must say, wow, like our convener said. I mean, I hope our people are listening to you. I hope we are beginning to get the clearer picture of where we've been and why we've been there and what we need to do to get out there and be free. I mean, I've been thinking about your analogy that for a historic truth to become a historic lie, there has to be a passage of time. I very much agree with you. And in addition to passage of time, there had to be some element of force that can keep it in that direction, moving in that direction. And so that's why we find ourselves where we are today, in the slave plantation, because that is passage of time and element of force that is keeping us in there. And so the question is, what do we do to unravel to free ourselves? And you are suggesting that we must, the Igbos, as you described us, must get back to the basics, must look around and begin to align with our brothers, the Yorubas, who you said we are part of us from the time from Bull. So, and this is why in the slave plantation, you can also, bring that also to explain why we are there with them. They are equally slaves, and as well as we are slaves in that plantation. So how do we get to work with this group? Because in physics or in chemistry, we hear about, say, an atom is an indivisible element that you cannot destroy, you cannot divide it. New technology has shown that you can do that. You can break an atom, but you require a great force to do that. And as in the book of Things Fall Apart, Chinua Achebe said that the white man has put a dagger in the thing that held us together, and we are falling apart. So this falling apart, and we're trying to bring it together, will require some element of force to bring it. And this is where we are today. And the colonial master is not going to let go. They are adamant. Because particularly in Nigeria is very, very crucial, very, very important to them. Because the day Nigeria or its nations able to realize themselves and free themselves, then the rest of Africa will move in that direction for freedom. So what is your suggestion? What is your take on how we can unravel this mystery?
Okay. Before we started answering English names, what obtained for this one to contain? Before the present standard we are using, what obtained? What was before the standard? So that my own can contain in the standard that regulates me. I don't know what else I would have said. Before the present standard, what obtained so that the present can contain my ideas in order to regulate. Now, what we need to do is to start re-educating again, because religion has to play a part, which is colonization of the mind. 2, education per se does not necessarily mean going to school. It's rather allowing schools to pass through you.
Mm-hmm.
Going to school cannot make you white. Going to school cannot make you, can only make you to be a remembrancer. So if you're an accountant and there is no more job for accountant because you can only remember accountancy, you become redundant. So education now requires re-educating the mind again the proper way, not the colonial education system, but uncolonizing the education system. That means allowing the schools of thought, which we have, that is reality, to pass through them again. So they will not understand. But while human mind is benefiting from something, good or bad, the human mind being marooned to understand that life is all about vegetation, to vegetate. By the time they realize that life is all about live and let live, and what did I leave behind in the span of time? I hope you understand what I mean. There are two lives. Some people are here existing, some people here are living. Most of our educated illiterates, I'm sorry to use that language, because if you want me to analyze it, I'll analyze it. Most of our educated illiterates are all existing existentialist vegetables. They are not living, because a living soul does not die. How do you stop dying? When your ideas will not die. So we need to create ideas to control the reality and the concept. Now, when those ideas are taught to them, with time, they will begin to spread it to other people, not through the educational system, but through our own system where the school passes through us. Everybody that is educated around us here right now is a remembrancer, not a creator. So we need to create another form of educational system that makes them create, makes them have freedom to use their mind, freedom of reasoning, freedom of thinking, and freedom of speaking. Not necessarily on national area, not necessarily on political jamboree, but freedom not to believe in what he or she was told. That they have to be established among ourselves. Because what we were told are no longer reality, they are all lies. Yeah? We are told that atom was the smallest in the element, but it's not true. Later it becomes what? Neutrinos. They say, oh, later it becomes nano. The latest now is the one which I'm talking about, the one we discovered, called Ozipu. Ozipu is smaller than nano. Nano is smaller than neutrinos. Neutrinos is smaller than atom. If you read my book on that, I say how to create things from the invisible world, you understand? So now you believe the scientists lied to us. The religion lied to us. The educational system lied to us. They told us during the Hellenistic period that the world was square. Anybody who speaks that the world was square will be stoned, will be told to be called a witchcraft. If you read anything on philosophy, that religion did that to us. Now, that was the Stone Age. But how are you sure that we are not living in Stone Age of future generation? If we are living in Stone Age of future generation, you should be careful about your conclusions. That's why I said, let's talk with the professors. Let's talk with those who feel they're educated. Because we may be living in Stone Age in the next 100 years to come. And so we should be careful over our conclusion, what we're teaching people in the schools. Because those things are going to control their mind. Those things are going to rule them. What we need to do is to re-educate them again, recolonize their mind again, as we were colonized. Colonize them into reality. Control the concept, control their mind, control the precept, control whatever you can. It doesn't matter whether you do with violence.
Prof, some of us are realists. We want to see it before we believe it. Right now, there's so much hunger among our people and frustration. And then now we're trying to educate their mind. You can only educate a mind that is nourished, that is fed. So don't you think we're going to have a heck of a problem trying to educate our people to see the truth and to come along with us?
Yeah. 15 years ago, when I returned to this country, we read my book called colonial conspiracies in Africa. I wrote it in 1985. I warned them about global hunger. I warned them about coronavirus. I warned them that Obama will rule, one person called Obama will rule America for 2 sections. That was 1985. Now, I knew there would be global hunger, and it's in my books. And when I came back 15 years ago, I started campaigning on Foodism War Gladiator. You might have heard about it. And what I'm doing today, for example, we're talking of hunger now. You can harvest yam 3 times a year. You can plant crops all the year round. We have done our best to avert this problem we're inside. But then the decisions of the gods, when I mean gods, they are much more in number than us that are talking about this. Now, what you do for a child sometimes, who is always playing with fire, is allow the fire to burn that child. When the fire burns it, he himself will learn not to enter the fire again. Whatever is going on now is refinement. We are being refined. Things will not get better until we change by ourselves. Nothing will get better. No man is going to come from sky to come and save you from the problem you created by yourself. So we need to let people understand that the educational system we have today is not helping us. The governance, whatever you call the government system, is not helping us. What they are doing is to work for their master and keep us in slavery. You know why I'm interested in this? Because we are all dancing to a particular demon. If I use the word demon, you know I don't believe in demon. We are dancing to a particular system of thinking created by a particular set of mind to make us do certain things. We're talking of freedom of the mind. So let's talk about, even if you're hungry, you must be free. The freedom of the mind is the basic principle of life. If your mind is not free, if you're not reasoning at all, there is no way you can become rich. Poverty must continue to parade the streets of life. So whether you are hungry or problems are there, what you should look for, what is the solution? What started? Who brought all this here? Who did this juju to us is what I always say. Then it was done to you. It's up to you now to say, no, I will not continue to live this way. Because you are the one living the way. It's not affecting those who are suffering. It's that you can never, never save the oppressed. The oppressed are killers of their saviors. Only the oppressed can save themselves. No matter the amount of money you pour into the oppressed nation, they will swallow it and they will kill you. So it is oppressor. After some pain comes the gain. Without pains, there will be no gains. With mercy, you must have pain. They must do this mercilessly. But as I told you, the only thing that produces its own negative is mercy. Mercy produces pain. So when we are doing this, there should be no mercy. Look at the Hawkins. Look at all the wars they fought. Look at what the white man is fighting. There was no mercy. No mercy at all. Kill the children. Look at who does he call it? Christopher Columbus. He would take the leg of a baby and smash it on a rock. The same thing with a veranda pole. There was no mercy during what's the name of that man who killed 15,000 Congo Democratic people? What's his name? I've forgotten his name. Now, there is no mercy when you come to taking something violent. The Bible says, the Son of God, you must apply some force. Some force that you don't care, even if you kill a pregnant woman. Because in war, bullet does not respect anybody, even the United Nations diplomat. That is exactly the only way to tackle these things. But let the oppressed suffer from oppression because they created oppression.
One more question for you, Prof, if you allow me, convener. One more question. Yeah. What do you say to our brothers and sisters at home that are so consumed by religiosity that would rather spend their days, their useful days, in their religious churches and place of meeting, prophesying, telling you what is written in chapter Jeremiah, verse Nicodemus. I mean, what do you tell them? In regards to...
I'm here. Yeah. Before you're saying all those things, I'm here.
There's a pastor here.
Oh, okay. So, Pastor, please, can you enlighten me on that area?
You were talking to Prof. So it's Prof.
Talking to Prof.
I thought it's so Pastor. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a question you're going to ask somebody. Who will bear the cat? I said, does the cat need belling? Or does the cat know it needs to be belled? So, This is the question I always ask, not who will bear the cat. Does the cat know? Does it know that it needs to be belled? Does the cat need belly? Now, if you have a razor blade, a little baby has a razor blade, you want to remove the razor blade from it, you must be cautious yourself. If not, the razor blade will either cut yourself or cut the baby's head. When religion has taken over the mind, when you're working under hypnotism, remember I said the religion, Christianity. I didn't say about pastor, reverend, the churches, or whatever they are. I talk about religion because Jesus Christ was not a religious person. They are spiritualists. I am a spiritualist, I'm not a religious person. Now, when religion has taken over the mind, what do? You know, you start from small to become big. Jesus Christ himself did not pick the whole world. He picked only 12 apostles. You start from school. The problem we always have, you want to start and finish. You want to start and finish. My people now, if you come down to this now, most of them, they have diverted from religiosity. Instead of going to spiritualism, they've gone to colonize traditionalism. Because I'll give you an example. Somebody said, Mr. A and Mr. B did this, therefore the gods are angry, then I have to bring something to sacrifice to the gods. The other man said, this, you have to pay this, you have to pay this, so they will pray for you. What is the difference between capital B and the footprint of the cow? There's no difference. Now, what we say is that religion has eaten so deep into the fiber of human beings that when you are talking of deliverance, the religious person is under oppression. The ordinary person is under oppression. Because here, right here, as I'm talking to you here, right where I live in now, there are no men. But I ask them, do you know the meaning of a man? You are a religious person. Do you know the meaning of religion? Do you know whose God you are worshiping? I say to a woman, because the meaning of Sunday, no need. You're a liar. Religion, Sunday means so you don't even know what you're worshiping or who you're worshiping, who you're calling. Why not listen to reason? First of all, the Japanese, what's the name of that country? That is Hong Kong. Is that? What's the name of that country? They slaughtered the church leaders just by the Portuguese. They cut off their heads. And that was how they say, okay, go to, what's the name of this country in Africa that has developed? What's the name of that country?
Rwanda.
Rwanda. Go to that place. Please, what I would advise is put your religion in your pocket. Put your beliefs in your pocket. And let us come together and work towards the common goal of an ordinary man. Because when you are in the services of your fellow human being, you are in the services of the Almighty God himself. It's not when you are in the service of denomination, which means divided. It's not when you are in the services of division that bottle up hatred inside you because I'm not following you, I'm not reasoning with you the way you are reasoning. When you know you are there, you are indirectly worshiping the enemy of the Almighty. Now, for me, I've done my best to try to bring them to understand that what we're doing to save ourselves from that program is not religion. What we are doing here is to save ourselves from a common enemy who brought religion to bamboozle our minds, to make us believe that when we die in poverty, when we die in want, I will go to heaven and walk on the street of gold. But when you die in the bosom of Abraham, you cannot wake up in the bosom of Delilah. If you die in the bosom of Delilah, you cannot wake up in the bosom of Abraham. They should understand that. That's the reality of life. It's what if you die in poor here. You think God is looking for poor people to be in heaven? He's not looking for poor rich people. He's looking for those who actually came here and made use of their talent.
That's
not
right.
Those who hid their talent. That's what the people he's looking for. He's not looking for those who hid their talent.
Touch lives. Yeah.
Those are touch life, and you're not touching life. Every day you're praying, you're casting out demons, you're destroying demon here, demon A. You're showing God where the demon is, the demon in your brother, the demon in your sister. If you have brother and sister demons, who is going to be with you? Those are the things that hide them here. So what we need is to summarize this. Let us leave religion alone. Our beliefs are different understanding of interpretation of life or life after. Let's leave them on somewhere and go out together and work towards actualizing what we have. Because if I talk now, pastor may condemn me. If I talk now, imam may condemn me. And I don't want to go to Israel or Rome to be able to go for pilgrim. I don't want to go to Arab to be able to go to pilgrim. I want to go to Igbo and see the pilgrim there. For heaven's sake, this man made me his own image after his own likeness. He didn't make me the image of Roman or this. So for example, the Muslim here say that if I die killing somebody, I have 7 virgins. Why not marry 7 virgins here? So that I don't kill anybody. And those who told me when you die and kill somebody, you marry 7 virgins. Their own children are safe in safe heaven. I don't understand that kind of religion. What we need to do is to open their mind so they will understand. Me, I'm going to marry 7 virgins so that when I die, I will not bother the virgins over there. But how are you sure that when you die, there will be virgins there? And how many virgins died in this country? Is there any virgin? Once they get no longer virgin. So I don't understand the virgin.
You're watching.
I promote culture. Okay,
you're watching.
I'm a pastor, but I promote culture.
Yeah, we're going to leave it there for today. You're watching Igbo Global Network. A phenomenal broadcast today. I hope you benefited a lot from today's broadcast. We'll be speaking with the erudite Professor Chinedu Agbodike, telling us about the history of the Igbo people and the history of the world. A whole lot to unpack from tonight's broadcast. Our website is igboglobalnetwork.com, and you can reach us on +1 202 787 8909. As we round up this broadcast, I'm going to invite Barrister to give us his passing remarks, and then I'm going to go to Pastor Neka and the Mazin Bakwe. Passing remark as we end the broadcast. 1 minute, please. Your closing remark as we end the broadcast. And eventually, Professor Chinedu will give us his closing remark. But I'll start with the closing remark by starting the 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Convener. Thank you, Prof. You have just triggered something very, very cool. I don't know how to describe it, especially where you say that you cannot about the poor and about being merciful and all those things. I like the way you put it, and we continue to learn every day. So thank you very much, Prof, for your wonderful attitude today, your wonderful presentation. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bertrand. Thank you, my sister, Pastor Neka. Thank you, Governor. Dalu.
Pastor Neka, your closing remark. 1 minute.
I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank Mazi Tony for this wonderful program he's putting together. So thank Prof. You have really, what will I say? You have really shocked me. The electric has really shocked me. And it's a very powerful topic which we need to ignite in the minds of our people. I so much thank you for that. Thank Barrister for your own presentation too. It really, I think the presentation is going hand to hand with the one with Prof. I think we're heading at the same direction, and I pray and I hope that as we continue, that we will touch the minds of our people. I also great Mazin Bakwe for your question. I mean, you triggered me. You know what I said? I'm here before you're saying all those things. Well, thank you so much. I pray that we'll continue, and I know we are going to make impact. Daluna.
Thank you. Mazin Bakwe, closing remark, please. 1 minute. Thank you.
Yes, Prof, I want to say, wow, you are phenomenal. I mean, you are fabulous. I mean, I don't know what word to use, but you have actually touched us at spots that we have never been touched before with your historical narratives. I want to thank you, Convener, for giving us this opportunity to enjoy this fine lecture from a professor. He's really a professor. This is not in the books. That's real practical professor. That means he's telling you, he's talking with authority. And that's what professors are meant to do. Because that's why, what gives them that name, professorship, the ability to speak, emphatically and, without quivering. I want to thank all my people, and I hope we've all enjoyed this. Those out there at home and in diaspora, this is just the beginning. This is coming from Igbo Global Network, which we're inviting you to join us, become part of us, join the team, and let's go get our freedom. Thank you, Barrister. Your twist to today's topic is great. It actually has provoked the professor, and I tried to provoke him more, but unfortunately, maybe next time I will be able to do a better job. Thank you all. Thank you, Convener.
Thank you so very much. Closing remarks, Prof. Agbodike, closing remarks.
So what we need to know is, what we do not know most is this. We have lost a lot through historic time. We need to rejuvenate. We need to return to basics. We need to forget ourselves. What we need to do now is to go back to our historic time and correct the rules. There are many things that are wrong. We cannot carry lies along at the same time. We cannot carry lies and truth at the same time. Truth is a straight line running from time, deathless past to eternity. But lie is truth in devil's front. Why truth is a lie, the devil's behind. So we need to go behind to look for the truth. And for you to see the truth, you need to unlearn the rules in the past. Not everything we are told are truth. There are many truths. There is prevaricated truth. There is suggested truth. There are hypnotizing truths. What the enemy will do for you is to create fear. At once that fear enters, you are disorganized. We should not fear, we should be bold. There are 356 fears that attack human souls. The bolder you become, the more the fear runs away. Fear is actually a coward. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. A few things that Prof. Agbodike has written, which I just want to read to us. He says, if there are no listening ears, there will be no talking or gossiping mouths. Both ears and mouths are responsible for peace and wars ongoing. Sometimes it is good to find padlock for both, so that silence can help freedoms, reasonings, and tinkerings geared towards happy, peaceful coexistence in a specialism system will leave by. Professor Chinedu Agbodike. Another quote of his, which I'd like to share with us. He says, I'm here to change all changed. Your half-brain dead cells shall soon resurrect, and all your body sensors shall commence full functions. I shall help you wake. Professor Chinedu Agbodike. I think we're going to leave it there for tonight. You've had more than a full menu today, a lot to chew on for the next 1 year, if not 5 years. But we're not going to let him go. We're going to come back to you by this time next week, same time, 9 p.m. Igbo time, and continue the series called An Audience with Professor Chinedu Agbodike, the man that I have called a treasure and a gift, principally to Igbo and certainly to the Black race. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tony Mwise. Igbo Global Network, our WhatsApp number is +1 202 787-8909. Until we'll come your way again next time, same time next week, from our studios in Washington, D.C. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Good night.